Hi there, I care and you matter. I'm Shannon and welcome to my channel. Here I share stories, strategies, and solutions to help you bounce back, stress less, and ultimately feel better. And today I'm going to be talking about how do I use my agenda or planner specifically. What are the steps that I take? What do I do? What do I not do? And shout out to, and I apologize if I'm not saying your name correctly, Key Lolo Dale requested this video. I had a bunch of questions she left in the comments of another video. And so I really do read all my comments, take them to heart, and I'm always happy to do my best to answer any specific questions you have. Case in point, the video you're watching now. So thank you so much, Key Lolo Dale, for leaving me that comment. I appreciate it. So we're going to jump right in. Now, first and foremost, you're going to find I'm probably not one of your typical planner community people. And now, what does that mean? That means I don't use the big fancy stuff. I like to keep things as simple as possible and as inexpensive as possible, but still meets my needs and is still frankly fun to use. I love the look of Erin Condren designs and colors. Happy Planner, well, heck, I just love the name. I like to watch videos about those kinds of things. However, I don't think I would actually use them because frankly, they're too pretty. And it costs a lot of money, and it's difficult for me to dive in and get something dirty and used that I invested a great deal of money in. Frankly, it would just become eye candy for me. And my planner is very much something I put to use. And so let's get into how I use it. Now, I always go for a weekly and monthly planner, and it always is a half size. Approximately 5x8 or 5.5x8. So even though I like a monthly and weekly, I don't use the monthly. I've talked about that in another video. So we're just going to talk about how I use the weekly spread and how do I set this up. Now, first of all, I think of my weekly spread as my daily to-do list, my daily task list. And so all of my tasks, and you're going to see what I did last week. And I don't think there's anything personal in here, so I don't care what I'm showing you. Probably should be a little more careful about that, but hey. Okay, so over on the right-hand side of each day area, I put my to-dos, my specific task list. So it might be things that I need to do around the house, like refill all the things in the bathroom. I always clean bathrooms on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, so it'll be clean bathrooms. It will also include things that I have to do for work. I work as a writer for an international nonprofit. And so I have the different things that I have to do for that. For example, I needed to watch an accounting video. I needed to create an invoice. I needed to create a training video. I needed to record a video for them, so on and so forth. Now, over on the right-hand side, I would put meetings and appointments. So I had a meeting with my supervisor named Chelsea at 8:30. So I would put that on the left. Again, I'm just showing you what I do. I'm hoping that you watch this. Maybe you get inspired. Maybe if you don't have any direction, you can try what I do, or just come up with your own way of using your planner in a way that's going to be the most productive, efficient, and helpful for you. But that's how I do it. All my tasks go on the right, and they're specific individual tasks, not goals, tasks. Because at the front of my planner, I have my overarching goals. So I break my year into 4 quarters, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Every 3 months is a quarter. And so I know what my goals are, and I have them both on little index cards at the front of my planner, as well as this I actually offered this at the beginning of the year. In fact, it's still up there. If you go to my homepage, hopecopenope.com, and you click on my picture, it will take you you can immediately download this. It is a printable. It's just one page. Letter size paper. Prints out just a little bit of color, and it's got it divided by quarters. And so then you just fold it. And then you can flip through it kind of like a book, and you'll notice that you'll have the month, area for 3 different goals. That's how I personally do it. I try not to do more than 3 major goals per quarter because that increases my chances of actually achieving that goal. And then each quarter will have a little saying and a little little graphic, something to just encourage you, something pretty to look at. So that's absolutely free on my webpage. Go ahead and check that out, hopecopenope.com. And again, click on my face, click on my picture, little Easter egg. So I include my quarterly goals, my overarching goals at the front of my planner so I can reference those no matter what month it is. However, in the weekly spread, I have my task list. How am I actually going to achieve those goals? What do I have to get done each day? And as I complete those, I either complete them or I don't. It's a yes or a no, a done or not done. If they're done, I just put a dash. Actually, I should have started with this. I next to each task or next to each appointment, I do a quick circle so that I can very easily check it off when it's done. I just put a slash mark through it. And then if I didn't complete it, no harm, no foul, nobody's perfect. I just simply put an arrow, meaning move it to tomorrow or get it done some other time this week. And then when I actually complete, and I actually completed this is a card set I was completing for a book I'm working on, I would actually X that out, that arrow, so I know it's completely done. Now, truth be told, I used to scratch out a task when it was completed entirely, so much so that you couldn't read it anymore. Why? It just felt darn good. It feels great to be able to cross out something, especially when you're overwhelmed, right? And you're feeling like, oh my goodness, I've got so much to get done. It feels good to scratch stuff off the list. But I noticed that was not helpful to me because what if I scratched out a appointment that I needed to reference in the future, something that had already been done? I couldn't necessarily go back and read it. So I had to revamp how I was doing things. So I wanted the feeling, the rush of endorphins that, yeah, I'm getting stuff done, I'm being productive, but I still needed to make sure I could read it in the end or later on. So I came up with this way of working, and I've been doing this for over a year now, maybe 2 years, and I love this process because it keeps everything easy to read, but it still helps me feel like when I see all these dash marks, oh, it feels so good. And even when I see an arrow, it's no problem. I don't feel bad about not completing something. It just gives me direction. It's like, okay, this moves forward. I do this, tomorrow or later in the week. Now, true confession time here. Sometimes I feel if I'm struggling, let's say I'm blue or I feel like I'm getting nowhere, I feel like I'm not getting any progress made and I'm frustrated with myself, I will intentionally think back about, okay, what are some things that I really did today that just weren't necessarily on my list, that actually took time and energy. I will think through and add something. So for example, today is Tuesday, January 9th, and yesterday was really productive, as you could see from all the dash marks. Oh, and I did this. But today I didn't have much on my list. But you know what? And so I'm looking at this, and it is 12:30 right now on Tuesday, and I'm a little frustrated because, boy, yesterday I was really productive, but I'm halfway through the day, and what? I only had one thing done. The thing is, I did clean bathrooms already that I was going to do tomorrow, but it was stormy, and I have spotty internet today, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and clean bathrooms today. Anyway, so I did that in advance and checked that off, but it sure leaves today being very empty. So to make myself feel better and actually be a true reflection of how productive I really was, I would go in and add some things. So what else did I do? Well, I'm recording a video. Record YouTube video. I'm going to go ahead and check that. I completed an activity list for work. Again, I'm a writer for an international organization, so I do a lot of work for them that may or may not actually get on to my task list. I also completed a word count for manuscripts that I was working on for them, so I completed that. I balanced my checkbook. And the other thing I did is I paid 2 bills. So paid Puget Sound Energy bill, and I paid Republic, which is our trash company. There we go. So immediately I feel better about today because, wow, I did a lot of things that took time, took energy, took effort, but weren't originally on my task list. So I use my planner to actually guide my day. I plan my day. I don't leave it to chance. So that when I put my head down on the pillow at night, I'm not left thinking, oh, I got nothing done. Oh, I've got too much to do tomorrow because I procrastinated today. No, I can see at a glance, what do I need to do in the morning? I can look at it and then I can just go for it and get things done. The other reason I love having a daily task list is because there are admittedly days where I am lethargic. I have psoriatic arthritis, and sometimes I get blue. Sometimes I lack energy. I parent a child with special needs, which can leave me feeling exhausted and mentally drained. And, well, if I don't do things that need to get done, if I'm not productive, that only adds to me feeling worse. So, no matter how I feel in the morning, if I have a task list that directs my energy and tells me what I have to do, I don't really have to think about it. I just do the stuff. I don't think about how I feel. I just do the stuff. And, things snowball. Bad things can snowball, stress can snowball, but good things can snowball too. And it is a huge rush to be able to tick things off the list. So if I wake up feeling blue or down or even depressed, if I can just go to my task list and do the first thing on the list, or honestly, if it's a really bad day, I'll just pick the easiest thing on the list and get that ball going, build that momentum, get that flow moving in a way that's going to be positive for me moving forward. So that's how I fill my task list. However, when do I do it? Oh, actually, one more thing that I should share. I play meal planning kind of loose. And by that, I mean I put at the bottom right of each day in the weekly view what I'm planning on dinner for that night. Does that mean I actually make it that night? No. But that means that I at least have 5 to 7 different meals that I know I have stuff for in my pantry and in my fridge or my freezer ready to go. So, for example, yesterday we did have nachos and I made whole pinto beans in the crock pot. That's what we did have. Today I had marked down that I would make homemade tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwiches. I'm not necessarily feeling that today. It's been one of those days. Every Friday we order in Mexican food for our little guy and our oldest son, and then we order in pizza for ourselves. But today, my husband and I were having one of those days, and we kind of want to get out. So I think we actually might go out for dinner and order the kids Circo Circo tonight, which is their favorite Mexican restaurant. So these are interchangeable. And so after we've had that meal, so like we had nachos and homemade beans, I just cross that out and know that I have other things available to choose from. Now, getting back to when I actually fill this out. Sunday nights, I sit down with my planner, and I actually lay on my bed. I don't sit down. I lay on my bed with my planner and my phone and my pen. Oh, and I wanted to share this too. I used to use a Bic 4-color pen. I love the convenience. It was okay for me to grasp. On days where my hands really hurt, like today, it would be a little difficult. But I did love the fact that I had different colors at my fingertips. And I would use red for my appointments or meetings. And then I would use green for bills or invoicing. And then I would use blue for my personal things. And then black for anything that was work related. Honestly, I did not like how this pen wrote. Even though this is a medium point, it doesn't write bold, and the ink itself is not great. It feels almost dry, for lack of a better word. So even though I like the colors, I decided, no, I'm not enjoying writing with it. I don't enjoy the physical process of writing, and the colors got to be too cumbersome. So I ditched that. Now, I used to only use, so after I left that, I went to another ballpoint pen, and I went to Bic Velocity. Let's see. And I can't get that on camera, sorry. Bic Velocity. Now it's actually called Glide. They're rebranding it. But this is a ballpoint pen. It is a 1.6 bold, 1.6 millimeter bold. And what do I like about this pen? It glides across the paper. It's smooth as butter. And I love that it's clicky. I will no longer use pens with caps because they're just too easy for me to lose. And it's one more thing to futz with before I need to write. So it needs to be something quick and easy I can use. And I love the grip. I find this pen, the Bic Velocity or Bic Glide, infinitely easier to write with than the 4-color Bic pen. However, some days, even though this pen is really, the ink glides across the paper, there are days that my hand, it's even hard to write with this. And days like that, I use my Pilot G2 gel pen. And this says 0.7. It's not. I Frankensteined this pen together because I only write in bold blue. And that's just a personal preference. Black ink, I loathe. Again, no shame. No judgment, just I prefer blue. I like the color. And I prefer a bold because I like, I'm going to have conviction in what I write. No, I just like the contrast. I don't like straining to read, and so I like a bold point. But the Pilot G2 pens, they just come in these blue, I don't even think I have one to show you. Transparent, oh yeah, I do. Transparent, nothing special. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's kind of nice because you can see the color go down. You know exactly at a glance how much ink you have in there. But one, I like to have fun, pretty things. And like I said, even though I don't invest in Erin Condren and Happy Place and all that jazzy stuff, I like fun, pretty things. And so I invested in these polka dot pens. These came with black ink cartridges. So I just took it apart, bought a bunch of blue bold cartridges or ink refills, and then swapped it out. My hubby does not care what color ink, nor does he care what kind of ink or what size point. So I just take the black ones and then put them in the run-of-the-mill Pilot G2 barrels and then give them to him. So, you know, win-win. Nothing gets wasted, but we're all happy. I get fun pens. And he gets pens. You know what? This is funny because he was talking to me the other day. I asked him, well, what do you prefer? And he said, whatever pen isn't on the floor. So he works very, helter-skelter for lack of a better word. Like literally, he doesn't keep a to-do list. It's like whatever scrap of paper is closest. Oh my goodness, talk about differences. Whew! We should do a video together one of these days because he can't stand the way I work. It's too structured, but I can't stand the way he works. It's too, I could not focus. Could not focus. Anyway, okay, I digress. So these are the two pens I use. So on Sunday nights, I lay down on my bed with my planner and my pens. I usually just bring two. I did start noting at the top which videos, my YouTube videos that I'm going to publish, and I do that in a red ink, red for YouTube. That's just something new I started, but I generally speaking just use the blue ink. And I go through my phone first of all, because sometimes I don't have my planner or agenda with me. Maybe I'm out and about and I didn't put it in my purse. If something comes up or I schedule an appointment, I just note that in my phone calendar. And that way on Sunday nights, I go through the next week. And then the very first thing I do, let's see, next week, I don't think, oh yeah, I did. Next week, next Monday, there's no school. So I would note that down. And so I would start that by jotting down my appointments and meetings over on this side, the right-hand side of each day. And then if I have upcoming deadlines, I would note those on my task list. Or I would just spend a few minutes writing down, okay, what are the things that I need to get done this week? Jot those down. And I would think, okay, what do I have already in my pantry, in my fridge, in my freezer that I could make meals for? Now, I play the weekend meal planning really rough and loose because my husband and I share that. I'm really blessed. My husband is very helpful around the house. So generally speaking, he tackles Saturday and Sunday because I do the majority of the week as far as meal planning goes. And so it's nice because on Sunday nights, if I don't have a lot of stuff on hand, I can think about, okay, what do I need to get so that I can meal plan? And again, I don't, just because I write down, oh, I don't know, lentil soup on Monday, doesn't mean I have to have it on Monday. It just means at a glance for the week, I know what we can make whenever and whatever days we want to do it. We have the food in the house to do that. So, oh, and the other thing that I usually keep with my planner is just a little notebook. And you can, this I used to get at Big Lots. I don't have a Big Lots near me anymore, but thankfully I have a big stash of these. But you can also get these small legal notepads at any office supply store or on Amazon. And I like this. I think this is a 8x5. I like it because I can just tuck it into the back of my planner, and it's always with me just for jotting notes down. And when I work with my planner, it's like, what is today? Today is the 9th. It's generally not open on my desk like this. It's always opened to whatever page, or excuse me, flipped over to whatever page it is, or excuse me, day it is. So today's Tuesday, so I would have it open like this. Why? Because it takes up less real estate on my desk. Why? Because it's easier to grab and take with me. Why? Because then it keeps my task list right in front of my eyes, not only so I know what next to do, but so that I can be ticking things off and making myself feel better. So that is how I use my agenda/planner in order to plan my days and make sure that I'm being as productive as I can, and so that I'm, again, being a architect and designing my days and tracking what I need to do, rather than being a firefighter and responding to my day or reacting to how I'm feeling. Because at the end of the day, I want to be intentional, and my planner helps me do that. And hopefully you've learned through this video that you don't need something really expensive. Even if you wanted to, you could just have a printable, a one-page printable. In fact, I think I have some on my Etsy shop. I'm going to look through that, and if I do, I'm going to leave a link to it below. You can get a weekly printable that is literally just a letter size that you print once a week and then fold in half. You don't have to have a planner or an agenda to follow this process. Start with something like that that's minimal investment, minimal commitment. See if you like it before you go invest in something like this. So if you've watched to the end of this video, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If you don't mind, please leave a like, and that really helps out this channel. And if you're not already a subscriber, please considering do so. If you are one of my subscribers, like Kilolo Dale, who left me a comment and requested I do a video about this, thank you so much for watching my channel. I appreciate it, and I hope that you are as encouraged and helped by this content as I am by you joining this community and leaving comments for me. I read and appreciate every single one of them. So I hope you have a great week, and until next time, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.